All right, what is going on, my people? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you very much for being a part of the show here. All right, I'm trying to go live on a couple different platforms here. But good morning to everybody. Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend. Monday, October 28th at 8:01. I am late. I'm about 1 minute behind here today. Not gonna lie, kind of hectic morning, and I gave myself plenty of time. I got too many notes, to be honest with you. I got so much stuff that I want to get into this morning. So my apologize here if I was a little late. All right, we already know. Listen, I got my people obviously on YouTube. All good. Appreciate everybody being here. Going live on Instagram today as well on the gram. So I'm trying to see how that all works. Hopefully, it's smooth operation. If it's not, we'll improve it. We'll get better. We'll go from there. Cup of Joe to start the day. Cup of Joe to start the week. Hopefully, you're enjoying your cup of coffee or your cup of tea or whatever the hell it is that you drink in the morning. Tried going live on X too. X is a little more difficult here. I think I got to have a premium account, which I upgraded to a premium account yesterday, but then that takes a couple days to come through. Pretty soon we'll be on all the platforms, so I have a little bit more synergy with everything that I got. We got a lot to get into. You guys could see all the topics here over on the left-hand side. Obviously, the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead on the Yankees. I want to spend some time talking about that series. Want to spend some time talking about the pitching staff, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, how terrific he has been as a 26-year-old, first time in the playoffs, looking like a complete vet. Freddie Freeman. I don't really think I have to say too much about Freddie Freeman, but we will talk about Freddie Freeman and really just kind of what happened on Friday night. The stage, how big it is, everything going on, and Freddie Freeman doing what he did. Lakers start the season out 3-0. Kind of a fun time right now to be covering the Lakers. I got to be honest with you. Over the last couple of years, the way they have started has been, they've got off to such slow starts, and it hasn't been that exciting. And then all of a sudden it is exciting. And then before you know it, the season is over. And, by May 1st, typically that's when the season is done. A lot of people feel good about JJ Redick. I was at the game on Saturday. I actually did the post-game show. Man, I got to be honest with everybody, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, but it feels so good to be back doing some of the stuff that I was doing before, but it's different now. It's not the same by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously, now that I'm on my own, I'm doing it all on my own, but I have a genuine joy of doing some of the different stuff that I'm doing. And the post-game show was a great example, being back at crypto. It was weird, kind of weird being back at crypto. Got to be honest with you. First time I've been there, obviously without 710 credential, this, that. I didn't even know where to park. Like, where's a media park? I had my parking pass for 15 years. I'm walking into that place like I was in a different country, different seat, the whole thing. But we'll get into all that. And then what I'm going to start doing on Mondays as well is I'm going to do something called a weekend recap. And I'm going to talk about some different things that I found interesting over the weekend. Couple just right out the gate, Dwayne Wade getting a statue. We'll get a little bit into, I don't know what the hell that was. How about this? How about Donald Trump goes and joins the Joe Rogan podcast? I'm not going to make it a political conversation. What I'm going to make it more of the world that we live in today, the amount of views on independent media, not the CNNs, not the Foxes, not the ABCs. It's a whole different world. So we'll do that as well. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hopefully you're enjoying your cup of Joe. I'm enjoying mine. What am I in? About a cup and a half in. This one's actually pretty full. This one's pretty full. All right, welcome Instagram as well. All right, let's get to it. Let's start the show. Dodgers, Yankees. Yankees the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead on the Los Angeles Dodgers. And a couple things to me. Everybody here obviously has some level of interest in sports. Sometimes when we watch sports, you just watch a certain team in any sport and you say, yeah, I think it's their year. I think that team is a team of destiny. And I understand that, number one, there's still a long way to go for this series, but just being somebody, I am, and everybody knows this, I don't have a rooting interest in this series. I'm a San Diego Padres fan, so I can watch these games and just be critical on either side and really not have any emotion that comes into it. Watching the Dodgers And Friday night was just one example of, I think, a number of different examples where, in my opinion, I think it is a team of destiny. It feels like it's the Dodgers' year. Everything, everything so far in the playoffs is going their way. And for a franchise that has had, they make the postseason every single year, but it doesn't mean that they've had success in the postseason. It doesn't mean that everything has gone their way in the postseason. I think actually the opposite. I think there's been way too many times for a team as successful as the Dodgers have been. I think it has been a team that has had a lot more disappointment than it has tribulation in the postseason or tribulation in the playoffs. I don't think there's a Dodger fan out there that has the same feelings that they've had in previous years. I'm going to actually give you a great example here. I'm at game one, Dodgers and the Padres. This is at Dodger Stadium, and I'm there for the first game. Basically, any game the Padres lose at Dodger Stadium, you can find me there. If the Padres and the Dodgers play, and the Dodgers win the game, just ask where was Skalij sitting, because I was probably there for that. But I remember being at that game. Manny Machado hits a 3-run homer in the first inning. And this was off Yamamoto. And I got a couple texts from a couple different people saying, same old Dodgers. The exact same old Dodgers. That's kind of the first feeling that people got the moment the postseason started, and you're not even 30 minutes into the game, and the Dodgers are already down 3-0 at home. And there's this feeling that's coming from Dodger fans is like, here we go again. That has not been the case for the Dodgers this season in the postseason. And when I say team of destiny, this is what I mean. I thought game one was if the Yankees had a true shot in this series, I know this is going to sound a little bit extreme, but they got to win the starts with Garrett Cole. And because I think after Garrett Cole, it's like, all right, well, it's anybody's game. And in game one, and game one is just one example of how the Dodgers have turned things around, how the Dodgers, why I feel like it is a team of destiny, and why I feel like probably within, at the max the next week or so, the Dodgers will have won their first World Series in 162 games since 1988. One of the reasons why I do feel that way is watch what's happened so far in the playoffs and in the postseason. Even when they were down 2-1, kind of watch how that series churned against the San Diego Padres, and they really dominated the last two games. Game 4 wasn't even close. In Game 5, the Padres really never had a threat. I know the score was close. It was, but it's not like the Padres were threatening and they had a lot of runners on or anything like that. Against the Mets, it wasn't even a series. I know it said 4-2. There was never a time that you felt like the Dodgers were in trouble in that series against the Mets. Mets was one of the hottest teams in the postseason, of the remaining teams left in the playoffs. They scored 46 runs. And then look at what happened game 1, Friday night at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers and the Yankees, and here are the Dodgers down 3-2 in the 10th inning. And I'm going to save Freddie Freeman for itself, because I think Freddie Freeman is a conversation in its own. And what that moment, I can't talk to it the way others can, but what I feel like that moment was in Dodger history, and really you could say LA sports history of what that moment was. Everything has gone their way. Everything. A lot of people talking about, all right, well, they don't have enough starting pitching in this series against the Yankees. It's actually been their strength. A lot of people make mention of going into the playoffs that Dave Roberts is not the manager for the Los Angeles Dodgers. This guy can't get you over the hump. All of a sudden, Dave Roberts can't make one wrong move. Every single thing that Dave Roberts has done up to this point has literally been perfect. Somebody tell me, and I'm sure there's a flaw out there in this postseason where maybe Dave Roberts did something wrong. You can make the argument. I thought it was going to happen. There's a part of me that thought, he had Blake Treinen in for over 30 pitches 2 days in a row. And on the second day in game 2, Treinen was still in. And he stayed with Blake Treinen. and they got out of it. Vezina comes in, he gets out of it. Every single move that Dave Roberts has made so far these playoffs, all of a sudden everything is going Dave Roberts' way. All of a sudden everything is going the Dodgers' way, which is not something that Dodgers have been accustomed to in the postseason, in the playoffs. So I look at it this way. The only thing I think at this point that can hurt the Dodgers, the only thing that I believe could be a detriment to the Dodgers is if the Dodgers all of a sudden became overconfident, all of a sudden, if the Dodgers got too cocky, all of a sudden, if the Dodgers thought, hey, this series is over, they're pumping their chest out, and they basically think like they can cruise for these last couple of wins. But that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Let me give you a great example. After game one of the World Series, Freddie Freeman hits the grand slam, rounds the bases, gets to home plate, does whatever celebration he has. Now he's on the field with Fox. I think it was Rosenthal. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Ken Rosenthal. Ken Rosenthal puts a mic in front of him. How does it feel? What's the moment? All this. You know what? One of the first things Freddie Freeman said right after he hit the grand slam to take a 1-0 lead, the place is rocking, all that stuff going on. He said, yeah, but we still have 3 to go. This is the one thing that I think separated the Dodgers from some of these other teams in the postseason. Do you think these players that are on the Dodgers don't understand what the moment is? Do you think these players don't value how tough it is to get where they're at right now? Do you think these players don't value being in this position, but still 2 games away from winning a World Series? This isn't a young team. This isn't an immature team. This isn't a team that doesn't have the veterans. They got experience. They got guys that have been in it before. They have World Series champions on this team. They have a manager that has failed many times in the playoffs that knows this is his greatest chance to take the monkey off his back and also kind of establish himself as one of the best managers outside of just what you can do in the regular season, but also take your team and your ball club to another level in the postseason. The only thing that I feel like can hurt the Dodgers up to this point, I think is one of their greatest strengths. I don't think they're going to be too cocky. I don't think they're going to be immature. I don't think they're going to be overconfident. I don't think they're going to be any of that. I don't. So if you're a Dodger fan this morning and you're sitting here on October 28th, you got to feel great about your position. Take the talent away. Take how many, all-stars and Hall of Famers that you have on the team. Put all that to the side. It's a team that just feels like no matter what the obstacle is, they're going to figure out a way to get past it. Where in the past, if there was an obstacle and momentum wasn't going the Dodgers' way, it really hurt them. It was a detriment. And, they were losing in the first round of the playoffs 2 years in a row. So that has been one of their weaknesses. Right now, it looks like one of their strengths. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If the Dodgers if they win a World Series this year, this is probably going to be the worst pitching that they have over these next couple of years because their pitching is only going to get healthier and it's only going to get better. This is probably going to be the least experience, not probably, it will be the least experience that Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani have in the playoffs because it's the first time they've ever been in the playoffs. The team's only going to get better. The team's only going to get scarier. They're only going to get probably bolder and more confident to go make other moves. And in my opinion, my thoughts, it's 100% a team of destiny. We watch it in sports all the time. When you look at certain teams and you say, yeah, that's going to be a problem. They are a problem. And I don't see how the New York Yankees make this a series. Maybe they can make it a series. Maybe they can, force it to 6 games. But all the Dodgers really have to do is go win 1 in New York. But don't be surprised if they do more than that. So that's my kind of my recap of the weekend when it comes to the Dodgers. I'm watching a team that instead of finding a way to lose or finding a way to win, instead of a team being maybe too overwhelmed with a moment, a lot of these guys are stepping up in these moments and are coming through. And whether that's starting pitching, bullpen, the big-time players, the players that are a little bit further down the lineup, everybody's having some type of an impact. they seem like a team that's incredibly unstoppable. Freddie Freeman on Friday night. Let's talk about this here real quick. Again, I'm going to say this because I want to make sure that I'm saying it properly. There are real Dodger fans that know Dodgers baseball. What they forget is more history than I'm going to have on the Dodgers. Last 4 years is really where I've covered the Dodgers when I was up in LA. So I can't speak to the history like somebody else can. But I want to recap Friday night here for a quick second with Freddie Freeman. And I'm going to play it here, and we'll just kind of let it play in the background. We'll let it play in here for a quick second. Let's look at it because I think everybody's. It was a pretty fascinating moment in sports, and I think whatever you're a fan of, whatever sport, whatever the case is, everyone watched Freddie Freeman on Friday night do what he did. Let's take a quick look. Let's take a quick listen. Here's Freddie Freeman on Friday night, game one. And I pressed the wrong button.
Delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game one of the World Series. Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball.
All right. We'll stop it right there. Freddie Freeman, obviously, it was on Fox, but I think that highlight was on ESPN, so I'll give credit there. If I said, and this is going to be more for Dodger fans, if I said, all right, what are some of the greatest playoff moments in Dodgers history? I'll go a step further. What are the greatest playoff moments in the history of baseball in the postseason? Let me go a step further. What are the greatest playoff moments in Los Angeles sports history? I can look at this in many different ways. You can look at, and listen, the Dodgers have great moments. Sandy Koufax, Fernando, Rick Monday in 1981 hits a home run, or Hershiser in 1988. Obviously, Gibson home run. You see a lot of those clips being ran right now. You hear Joe Davis mention it. Cody Bellinger hits that home run in a 3-3 tie versus the Braves in Game 7 in 2020. Takes them to the World Series. Dodgers win the pennant. Freddie Freeman's moment, if it's not the greatest moment in Dodgers history in the postseason, it's impossible not to have a conversation about the Dodgers moving forward when you talk about the playoffs. And you say, remember when Freddie Freeman hit that grand slam? Let me set this up here. It was game one of the World Series. It's versus the New York Yankees. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th inning. The bases are loaded and the Dodgers are down 3-2. That's the stage that was set for Freddie Freeman. It doesn't have to be the greatest moment in Dodger history. It doesn't have to be the top moment that you think of when it comes to LA sports. But Freddie Freeman's grand slam on Friday night will be remembered in Dodgers history, LA's history, and the history of the postseason, period. That's going to be, I don't care who was watching the game on Friday night. However you look at it, people are going to look back on that moment and say, remember when Freddie Freeman hit a grand slam in game one of the World Series against the New York Yankees, down 3-2. It's the first walk-off grand slam in postseason history. Do you remember that? Everybody's going to say, yeah, of course I remember that. Yeah, no, here's where I was. Here's what I was doing. This is what was going on. I ate this at night. That's how colossal of a moment that was. Again, in Dodgers history, in postseason history, and I think in LA history as well, when you look at just how big of a moment it was. Now, that's only if the Dodgers cash it in, they end up winning a World Series. I already made my case why I think this is now. It's just a matter of time until the Dodgers win the World Series. But damn. And then let me take it a step further with Freddie Freeman. He obviously had the issue with his son earlier in the season, Guillain-Barré syndrome. that he left the team for maybe 10, 12 days to deal with that. And so many stories came out of Freddie Freeman and the moment away and him coming back. He had a quote. I remember he had a quote, and he said, I know Dodger fans don't want to hear this, but he just basically said something to the effect of like, I could be in the bottom of the ninth inning, World Series, bases loaded. Like he said something like that. And he said, I could strike out 100 times in a row and I wouldn't care. You know, he's talking about just his, it was actually kind of crazy, the parallels. And here he is then coming through in October, in late October in the World Series to hit a grand slam. I think Freddie Freeman is one of the more likable players in all of Major League Baseball, one of the more respected players in all of Major League Baseball. You know, if you look at before the season ended, he's dealing with his ankle injury. A lot of people said, hey, that's a 4 to 6 week ankle injury. Him playing against the Padres, him playing against the Mets, and they wrapped up the series against the Mets, had a little bit of time. And he's like, yeah, I'm 100% playing, even though he's not 100%. You saw him hobbling around over the course of the postseason so far. Easy guy to root for. So the fact that you kind of had all those storylines and it was him doing it, he's not no scrub. Freddie Freeman is one of the best players in all Major League Baseball. But that's a moment. That's a moment. You know, I'll say this. You have certain moments in sports. That's one of those moments that whether if you were watching that game or you're a fan of sports or you're a fan of Major League Baseball, you will remember Freddie Freeman's grand slam for years. And obviously, if you're a Dodger fan or if you're at the game or any of that stuff, then that's a whole different story. That's something that's living with you forever. That's Robert Horry hitting a 3 top of the key to beat the Sacramento Kings at the buzzer. You know, there are moments that we can all. That's Derek Fisher hitting a shot with .4. If I'm using some Laker comps, I think of, you know, obviously some moments that I've had in my personal life, but there are moments. That's one of those moments. All right. Let me look at some of the comments here. I know I've ignored all of you. Nothing personal here. I just, you know, I'm in a rhythm. If I'm in a rhythm, then I just keep going. All right. All right, let's see what we got here. Sorry, San Diego fans, but that was a great moment for baseball. By the way, I think Petco Park's the loudest park in baseball. I hope y'all win soon. The owner cares about SD. First off, I appreciate that. That's a very nice message, but you don't have to be sorry to anybody. You know, here's the reality right now with the Dodgers. They are I've done videos on this before, so I'm not going to get into it. You know, there's a lot of feelings in San Diego of, oh my gosh, that should be the Padres. That should be the Padres. Well, then just go make it happen. You know, I think, you know, one of the reasons why I said I feel like the Dodgers, the only thing that can hurt the Dodgers up to this point is if they're too cocky or they're too overconfident or you know, they're inexperienced or any of that stuff. No, that was the Padres. That's why the Padres couldn't get past the Dodgers. They had talent. They couldn't do it because I think they got too cocky. I think they were overconfident. That's not going to be a problem for the Dodgers. It's the reason why the Dodgers are 2 games away from winning a World Series. Nobody's got to send any apologies out. The Dodgers, I mean, really, at the end of the day, they have gone through so much in the sense of failures in the postseason. It's kind of ironic is not the way to put it, but if you've had this much success and haven't got a chance to cash it in 162 games, at some point the stars are going to align, and they're aligning right now for the Dodgers. And frankly, you know, however you look at this team and however you look at the Dodgers, you can look at their payroll, this, that, it's not the squad that they thought they were going to have coming up here. They're missing a couple key pitchers. So they've been able to kind of grind it out and figure it out and do what they do. It doesn't mean they don't have great players and everything else. They have unbelievable players. By the way, Shohei Ohtani looks like he is going to play in tonight's game. So whatever scare that was, I think Dodger fans are going to get him back. All right, let's see what else we got here. What happened with his son was really emotional too. Yep, I mentioned that. You know, there's a really good video if you guys haven't seen it before, but it just shows kind of the respect. Bryce Harper, and when he had just got back, Bryce Harper and Freddie Freeman at first base and just kind of had like a nice exchange. You know, you could see the two of them. kind of an emotional exchange. A lot of players, I feel like, have that with Freddie Freeman. The guy's got all the respect in the world. Where's my Dodgers hate? There isn't any. You give credit where credit's due. That's it. There's nothing else to say. That's the Dodgers right now are clearly, and I said it before and I'll say it again. I think a team of destiny, and they're making it happen. They're not getting lucky. They're getting the clutch hits when they need it. They're getting Dave Roberts, like I said, is making every call that you can possibly think of. All right, I'm going to get to some more of these comments here in just a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Not necessarily, Izzy. Yeah, not necessarily. I want to bring everybody here, you know? You know what I would like? I'd like more San Diegans on here. I mean, hell, I'm here. I'm in Solana Beach, for the love of God. I want more San Diegans on here. But I know I got, obviously a big audience of Los Angeles just because of my time over the years. And so, I'm obviously all my Lakers stuff that I do and everything else. All right, I want to keep going here. And I want to keep kind of breaking down this series a little bit. And pretty soon here, I'm going to start getting into I'm gonna get into some Lakers stuff here, but I'm not just ready to do that. If you guys got some more comments, feel free to throw it on there. If I miss your comments, I apologize. There's a lot. When I went over there, there was already over 160 comments, so I don't know where the hell to start. If you send a super, 100%, it's going to get read. Don't feel obligated by any stretch of the imagination, but if you send a super, I will read it. Okay. I thought, if you guys remember last week, I was talking a little bit about this. I thought the only way the Yankees would have a chance against the Dodgers, it's because of their starting pitching. And their starting pitching had to be elite, and their starting pitching had to be better than the Dodgers. Listen, this is why I think it is so impressive to see what the Dodgers are doing. It's impressive because the areas that you thought would be of weakness is a strength. If you walked into the playoffs and you walked into the postseason, it's impossible to say, I don't know what the hell they're going to do with their starting pitching. It's also impossible. I thought their bullpen, I know their bullpen is good, but they've depended on their bullpen so much. There's a little bit of how tired are those arms? Even coming into the World Series, the conversation was, well, can the bullpen keep doing what it's doing? It's been taxied so much over the course of the last, couple of months. Can they keep doing what they're doing? So I'm going to go back to this. If the strength of the Yankees was supposed to be their starting pitching, specifically Garrett Cole, if the strength was supposed to be, the first two games, you're going to at least get a split if you're the Yankees because you got two pretty damn good pitchers that are going up. Excuse me. I needed a break. The comments right now should strictly 100% be, Slee, are you okay? Should be glad. God bless you. Slee, I wish you nothing but the best. Slee, I hope you're all right. That's all the comments should be right now. God bless you. Thank you. Bless you. I appreciate you. Bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. By the way, I haven't done that in a while. I was averaging, I think if you took I think there were prop bets. I think if you went to Underdog Fantasy, I think there were some prop bets of how many sneezes, how many shows before a sneeze. I think I had some prop bets out there. All right, let's keep going here. I get sidetracked. One sneeze, all of a sudden I'm all over the place. I thought one of the huge advantages for the Yankees, not a huge advantage, but I thought it was one of their advantages. If they're going to win the series, they got to win the games that Garrett Cole starts. Let me compare the two pitchers here real quick. Garrett Cole, game 1, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. Pretty damn good. Jack Flaherty, just as good. 5 1/3 innings, gives up that 2-run homer to Stanton, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks. He was great. I think any Dodger fan out there is saying to themselves, if Jack Flaherty is giving you 5 1/3 innings, only giving up 2 runs, has more strikeouts than Garrett Cole in game one, yeah, you take your chances with that, especially with the bullpen that the Dodgers have. All right, let's go to game two. Carlos Rodon of the Yankees. 3 1/3 innings, 4 earned runs, and only 3 Ks. How about Yamamoto? And I want to spend a quick second on Yamamoto because I think it deserves it. Yamamoto went 6 1/3 innings, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. You are not beating the Dodgers if your starting pitching, especially Garrett Cole, can't get you a W. How the hell are you going to beat the Dodgers then? Walker Buehler on the mound tonight. Okay, you could say, all right, here's a game that they can get. All right, Walker Buehler, A, has been in these positions and situations before, so he's not going to be overwhelmed by the moment. And B, what has he got to lose? There's literally zero pressure on Walker Buehler tonight. None. Maybe the Yankees come out and they're up 5-0 through 3 innings. I don't know, 5-1 or whatever the case is, but there's no pressure on him. The starting pitching for the Dodgers, specifically Jack Flaherty, who got the proper amount of rest, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yamamoto's been incredible. You know, I remember before the postseason started, I was looking at it, I'm like, all right, Yamamoto's only had 4 starts since he was out for 3 months or whatever the case is. Now, he did pitch, if you guys remember, back in the Bronx, Yankee Stadium during the season, and he was unstoppable. I think he went 7 innings. But Yamamoto is 26 years old. He got paid $325 million. I think $1 million more than Garrett Cole to be the highest paid pitcher in Major League Baseball history. A lot of pressure that comes on you. You're pitching for the Dodgers. You're in the World Series. You're being handed the ball, and you're saying, go earn your money. Listen, $325 million, that is a lot of money. I'm not telling you. Dude's earning his money. I'll go back to something. Doug McCain, who came on, Dodgers Nation. Great guy. Came on. I remember what he said when he said that here's the one thing that the Dodgers did when they signed him. They didn't have to give up anything for him. All they had to do was just give him a bag. Well, giving a player a bag is not a problem for the Dodgers. That's no issue. The issue is, okay, you're trading somebody. What kind of prospects are you giving? This, that. That's where the Dodgers are going to be a little bit more strategic. If it's just coming down to financial, well, tell us how much you want. We'll cut you the check. Yamamoto, it's the first time he's been in the playoffs. He's 26 years old. All the attention has gone to Shohei. A lot of the attention has gone to why is Mookie struggling? He's playing well now. You know, Freddie Freeman hits the grand slam. All the attention has gone to all these other players. Yamamoto pitched game 5 against the San Diego Padres up at Dodger Stadium in the first round. A winner-take-all game was unhittable. He pitched last night or 2 nights ago against the Yankees at Dodger Stadium, and a chance to go up 2-0. He was unhittable. He gave up 1 solo shot to Soto. Only gave up 1 hit. It's freaking impressive. You know, I go back to it. If you're going to beat the Dodgers, you're going to have to do it. At some point, it's got to be your starting pitching, and I just don't see it happening. And I think, like I said, I think it's just a matter of time until the Dodgers are coordinating their parade up in Los Angeles, and they won't act like that until the series is done. But that's just my opinion on it. And Yamamoto doing what he's doing at this age with no experience in the playoffs. This guy is not afraid of the moment. I mean, hell, if you're going to get to a guy, you're going to get to him when he's young. You're going to get to him when he's inexperienced. You're going to get to him in moments like this. You are not getting – if you can't get to Yamamoto at age 26 with all the lights on him, what the hell is this guy going to be in 2-3 years when he has a couple more years of experience? What's he going to be in the postseason down the road when he's like, yeah, I've already done this. I've already pitched in the playoffs 12 times. You think I care about this moment? He's only going to get more dangerous. All right. Let's get a couple more of these, and I'm going to go to Lakers. Exactly. Can't let Judge find his form until spring training 2025. How about that guy? You think that guy's feeling the pressure? That dude is feeling the pressure. I saw this too. Soto free next year, might come to the Dodgers. I saw that for a quick second. I didn't even want to read it. I'm like, well, why even play anymore? Why even play? The Dodgers should just have their own tournament amongst their own team. Have Major League Baseball. If Soto goes to the Dodgers, do this. I got a great idea. I just thought of it right now. If Soto ends up going to the Dodgers, if he did that in the offseason, which I don't think he will, but I don't know. During the All-Star game, I felt like he was flirting with the Dodgers. But if Soto goes there, then this is what Major League Baseball should do. They should find one more expansion team and add them to Major League Baseball, and then they should just split the Dodgers into two teams and then have the Dodgers just play each other because there's no point of playing after that. See what else we got here. No, 2-0, but it still feels like it's 1-1. Can't take them lightly and allow Judge to get for it. It sounds like Dave Roberts there. Look at you. Little manager speak right there. Always believed in Yamamoto. Love seeing him produce. Dude is – listen, I'm going to go back to what I just said. Okay, stop it, Slee. Homeboy took 3 months off because his arm was going to fall off. Cool. Well, his arm is on, and it's doing pretty well right now. Do you want Yamamoto with his best stuff in July and August, or do you want Yamamoto with his best stuff in October? Listen, you could be strategic with it. You could say, all right, well, we only want this guy to pitch X amount of games this year, X amount of innings. That's strategic. I'm not against that. I mean, it's not – Dodgers, by the way, with all the injuries that they had the best record in baseball. And if their strategy with Yamamoto was take 3 months off in the middle of summer and let's just get you right for the playoffs, is it working? I mean, I'm not really sure about the comment. Eddie, I'm not sure if you're saying you want this guy pitching an absolute gem in July and August, or you want him doing what he's doing right now. Because what he's doing right now is he's got the Dodgers almost on the brink of a World Series, and a lot of it has to do with him. Think of the games he's pitched so far this postseason, the high leverage games. I know in the first game that he had against the Padres, I think it was game 2 at Dodger Stadium, they said he was tipping pitches, whatever the case is. Well, whatever the hell he did and whatever the hell he changed, it's working. All right, let's get into some Lakers basketball. I know I got a lot of people on here, and I'll get back to the Dodgers in a little bit. I'll let some of these comments get here. A lot of people are putting up that Kobe quote, "Job's not finished." When I saw that Kobe quote, it was before Game 5, Padres-Dodgers, and it was just sitting in that clubhouse, and it said nothing else. I'm like, oh, Jesus. That's literally the perfect quote to have for that team, for that city. It was like, yeah, that's the quote. If you're looking for a quote, that's the quote. All right, let's talk some Lakers basketball. If there's still some Dodgers stuff out here, we can get back to it in a little bit, but I do want to talk a little bit of Lakers basketball. I got a chance to go to the game on Saturday. Really, really nice to be at the arena. So I go to crypto. I showed it. Let me show actually something. Actually, do I have it? What the hell did I do with it? No, maybe I don't have it. Oh yeah, I do have it. All right, everybody, just relax for a quick second here. Okay, so I got a chance to go to the game on Saturday. Lakers 3-0. Before I get to the Laker portion of it, no, you know what? Let's do the Laker portion of it real quick, and then I'll come back to a couple personal stories. Lakers 3-0. Should we overreact on 3-0? Should we look at the Lakers right now? And listen, there might be some Laker fans that are like, "Al, relax. They're 3-0. It's not that big of a deal." Let me tell you why it's a big deal that the Lakers are 3-0. I'll tell you why it's a big deal. A couple of reasons. Number one, the Lakers never get off to a good start. Good start, Lakers. Those two don't click. That doesn't typically happen for the Lakers. Okay, who'd they beat? They beat 3 teams that are either going to be in the playoffs in the Western Conference or they'll be in that play-in tournament kind of fighting for a playoff spot. I don't know what Sacramento is. I'd be more surprised that Sacramento locks a top 6 seed. They're probably going to be somewhere through that 7 and 10. Phoenix, to be honest with you, maybe they'll be a 6 seed. Maybe they'll be 7 through 10. Minnesota, give them some time. They'll figure it out. I think they'll be, obviously one of those top 6 seeds. My point is that they didn't play 3 trash teams. They didn't play Portland, Detroit, and I don't know. You pick the other team. Chicago. I don't even know that. I don't know. No idea if Chicago's going to be good this year. They're playing good teams. And when you have a brand new coach like the Lakers do in JJ Redick, you're kind of the spotlight's a little bit brighter because you want to know, does this guy know what he's doing? Why would the Lakers hire JJ Redick? The guy has no coaching experience at all. So I think everybody's antennas are on and they're asking the question of, is this team going to be good? LeBron's about to turn 40 and JJ Redick is a brand new coach. Well, they're 3-0 so far to start the season. And here are the things that I think that I've liked so far in watching. You've got to see them play against Anthony Edwards. You've got to see them play against Kevin Durant. You've got to see them play against Devin Booker. You've got to see them play against De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis. You've got to see them play some good all-stars in the NBA, some good players that represent the league that can go off on any given night. All right, how they've won. First game against Minnesota, kind of had control of the game for the most part. And when there were some times where things weren't going their way, timeouts I thought were used properly, substituting certain guys in at certain times. JJ Redick wasn't just sitting there and saying, well, I hope this works out. It felt like he had his fingerprints on a game. Okay, next game. Lakers play Phoenix, get blitzed in the first half, specifically that first quarter. Phoenix can't miss a shot. Every shot they take is going in. Next thing you know, you're looking up and I'm like, the Lakers are down 22 freaking points. I think they get their asses kicked. All right, well, I guess it's Phoenix's night tonight. No, they come back. They make it a game. They end up taking the lead, and you watch Phoenix just fold, and it looks like, their soul is coming out of their body. And by the time you get to the fourth quarter, Lakers are up 8-10 points, and it actually ended up being a pretty comfortable win. All right, how about the game on Saturday? Saturday, you played a team that has absolutely owned you over the years. I think they've won 7 of their last 8 against the Lakers. Domantas Sabonis was 10-0 against Anthony Davis, and the Lakers were playing a second of a back-to-back. Second of a back-to-back, typically, you're at a disadvantage. Sacramento's a team that wants to drop 130 points. By the way, they dropped 127. Sacramento's a team that you've had difficulty with. Sacramento team is going to run up and down the floor. Second of a back-to-back, and the Lakers beat the Sacramento Kings. 127-131. I don't think being 3-0, I think you should be excited about what you've seen so far with the Lakers. I think you should be impressed what you've seen for the Lakers so far being 3-0. I think you should, I'm not saying you go outside and say, hey, the Lakers they're better than the Celtics and the Thunder and whatever other top teams are in the East and the West. But what I would tell you is they look good. They look good. And that to me is more important than anything else. It's, what do you look like? Okay, if you go up against good opponent or future Hall of Famers or some of the best young players in the league, like Devin Booker, like Anthony Edwards, like De'Aaron Fox, what's it look like? They look good. I think you can simplify it sometimes. I think sometimes you can just sit back and you could say the Lakers so far, 1 week into the NBA season, they got another game coming tonight against the Phoenix Suns. They look good. JJ Redick. I know there were a lot of people that were very critical about JJ Redick, myself included. Why? Because he's never coached before. I don't know what the hell to expect. JJ Redick now, if you go on social media during a Lakers game, I would say the two main topics when you go on social media is, one of them is going to be how JJ Redick is coaching, how JJ Redick is subbing his guys in, how JJ Redick is using players. Hey, you know what? I don't like the way D'Angelo Russell's playing. I'm gonna put Gabe Vincent in. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna give Dalton Connect a little bit more playing time because I like the way he's flowing with everything. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna sit LeBron for a little bit, and I'm gonna let Rui and Anthony Davis, and maybe I'm gonna throw Jackson Hayes in there as well, so that there's a center, and all of a sudden I can move Anthony Davis to the 4 spot. He's making decisions and moves. So far on social media, I'm seeing a lot of compliments towards JJ Redick. Why? Because they're 3-0 and they haven't lost a game yet, and really have nothing negative to say yet. But I think people are being also specific about what they like. They like the rotations. They like the way he's using his timeouts. They like the vibe of the team. They like what the players are saying about JJ Redick. They like some of the clips that are coming out during their practices. All positive vibes, so far. The other thing, by the way, I feel like a lot of people are mentioning on social, still Darvin Ham. Man, Darvin Ham gets brought up so much. My interaction with Laker fans or just scrolling on Twitter during a game or whatever the case is, Darvin Ham gets mentioned a lot. Comments I see on YouTube, I'm doing the post-game show again. By the way, support's been so good, so good. I appreciate it. And I know that's kind of how this channel was built, was the post-game show. But kind of some renewed energy there. So I appreciate you guys being there. But if you look at a lot of the comments are talking about how Darvin Ham is not there and how JJ Redick is the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers and he's having success. The only thing I'm going to caution Laker fans on is this. They're going to lose some games. It's just how this works. When they lose their games, let's see what it looks like. Why they lose games. Is it because they just miss shots or is it something else? I mean, it's going to sound a little crazy. One of my favorite stats against the Sun or against Minnesota when they played was Minnesota or Phoenix. I think it was Minnesota. They went 5 of 31 from the three-point line and they still won. That they weren't just dependent on the threes. There was other ways that they could win. They could get to the free throw line. AD could do what he's doing. But losses will come, and I know it looks all bright and dandy right now. Everything looks great. That will change. That's just part of sports. That's going to happen. But you should be excited and have optimism about this Lakers team because I don't think it's fake. You should be excited and have optimism with this team because I do think they have a good roster, not a great roster. But I think they are in a position that if through 30 games you see, and this is going to be up to Rob Pelinka and that front office, hey, we can improve this roster. Let's use our 2 first-rounders. Let's use maybe some assets that we have on this team. I don't think they're that far away. They're right now, I think, a top 5 team in the Western Conference. If you can hang around there, and this is great that they get off to a good start, you put yourself in a position where all that pressure goes on that front office, like you better make a freaking move. Do I think they're going to beat the Celtics or the Thunder in a 7-game set? Maybe the Thunder. Let's just use the Celtics as the cream of the crop because they're the team that won an NBA championship and will be the favorites the entire season. At some point, as the season progresses, your target needs to be how do we compete for a championship, not how do we compete in the West. And getting off to this good of a start is, I think, obviously a lot of great vibes. Okay, something to keep in mind here. They do have a 5-game road trip coming up. So the Lakers are at Phoenix tonight. Tough game. I think this is one of those games where if you get your first L, it comes tonight. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised. Listen, if Lakers find a way to make it 4-0 and they beat Phoenix twice in the first week of the season, that's damn impressive. But you're at Phoenix tonight. You're at Cleveland coming up on Wednesday. Cleveland hasn't lost a game yet. You're at Toronto, at Detroit, at Memphis. The way I look at this road trip, go 3-2. 3-2 is in my opinion, that's a good road trip. You got to win the games you're supposed to win. At Toronto, at Detroit, you got to win those 2. And then basically win one of these 3 games against 3 playoff teams, either Phoenix, Cleveland, or Memphis. If you win one of those, you're 3-2. You're starting the season out 6-2. That's impressive. Did that math right? Yeah, I did that math right. That would be incredibly impressive. All right, let's take a look at some of your comments here. What do we got here? We got a super here. Kevin Brown. Kevin, thank you, brother. I really appreciate you sending in the super. Disappointed in the Dodger hate. Wish fans would direct it towards owners who would rather line their pockets than put a competitive team on the field. All right, I'm assuming here what you're talking about. I'm assuming that if there's hate, I'm assuming people are saying, well, of course the Dodgers should be a team that wins a World Series. Look at their roster, look at their this, look at their that, look at their payroll, look at the resources that they have. By the way, I don't really disagree with that, but I'm gonna give Dodgers some credit in this, and I'm tell you where I'm going with this. I'm not a fan of the way baseball is structured. The fact that you have teams that are spending $300+ million and then other teams that are spending under 100 million or 75 million or whatever the case is. Do I think that's fair? Of course, I don't think it's fair. But this is where I'm going to give the Dodgers credit, and I think this is where the Dodgers deserve credit. I used to always use this analogy about the Dodgers. Dodgers are a team that has millions of dollars in their bank account, but I still feel like they'll cut a coupon if they need to go save a couple of dollars. Or they'll still go shop at Nordstrom Rack because they're saying, yeah, but why would I pay full price for these jeans when I could pay a percentage of that price? As rich and wealthy and all the resources that the Dodgers have, they're top 5 in the farm system every single year. They're developing their own arms. You know, think about the arms that come through the farm system for the Dodgers, and it's like, Jesus, Gavin Stone, how's this guy? This guy's pretty good. Oh, yeah, he came through their farm system. Tony Gonsolin has had moments. Yeah, came through their farm system. Dustin May, it's like, came through their farm system. Corey Seager, like, go down. Will Smith, there's a lot of players that they crop as well. So I think the difference, and I don't know the Yankees, the way the Yankees are ran, but I'm just going to use the Yankees as an example or the Mets as an example. There are markets out there that got a lot of money and just say, let me just throw money at it. The Dodgers do a fantastic job of a combination of the two. A lot of times I'm like, freaking A, how is this team so responsible? They have the resources. Really what they have is they have a Dodger fan base that has bought into what they're doing, and they're able to do this because 50,000 fans a night are going to Dodger Stadium to watch a Dodger game. And they have the TV deal of Sportsnet LA. And they have the market of Los Angeles. And then they could go get Shohei and Yamamoto, and every other sponsor is a Japanese or Asian brand, and money's coming from everywhere. But you can hate on the way baseball is structured, and I'm one to do so because I don't think I don't like the way it's structured. But you also have to give them credit for saying, well, we're still going to go spend our money on the right resources. We're still going to go create or crop players through our farm system. They also do it that way as well. They're shopping at Nordstrom Rack. I'm like, you got $30 million in the bank. Why are you going to Nordstrom Rack? They're like, yeah, you can save a few dollars here and there. It's like, Jesus Lord. They got their I's dotted and their T's crossed. It's the best way that I can put it. All right, Kevin, thank you for the super, brother. Let's see what we got here. Alex. The Yankees have been spending more than that for the last 24 years, only have one championship to show for it. What was that, 2009? Pale Fox, being rich also helps your farm. Yeah, but they really, really crop their own players. Like, I'm going to give them credit. I mean, if you guys don't want to give them credit, I think they deserve credit for both sides of it. I love watching teams. I definitely love watching teams that have a kind of a it's a combination, right? Look at Tampa Bay. Look at some of these other teams out there. Look, Padres are a good example. Padres this year cut $100 million from the payroll, and I think that's actually where AJ Preller is his best. Is where he's got to be a little bit more strategic with it. But it's how it's done. All right, let's see some of these Laker comments here. You should just quit since you're not getting anywhere with your trash takes. Yeah, man. Yeah, you got me, bro. Yeah, sure. Awesome. Let's see what else we got here. But I don't even know if that was towards me or somebody else. I have no idea. I'm not even a Fakers fan, but even I have to admit they look much better, and JJ has to get credit for that. Yeah, you give credit for it. I agree with you. Anthony Davis. Can I say something real quick about AD? And then I got a couple other things I want to get into. We're going to call it a day. You guys see what Anthony Davis is doing right now? One of my favorite things about this season so far, I feel like everything is running through AD. Everything's running through Anthony Davis. And it should. And JJ Redick has kind of gone out of his way to basically to make sure that Anthony Davis eats first. AD, 34 points, 11 rebounds. I want to actually see his full stats for just these first 3 games. Here's what he's averaging so far: 34 points, 2.3 blocks, 1.7 steals, 11 rebounds, 3.3 assists. He's shooting 57% from the field. He's playing 37 minutes a game. He's shooting 40% from the 3-point line. You know, I think one of the things that actually gives me some of my most optimism right now is everything's going through AD. Everything's going through Anthony Davis, which is exactly what it should be. So, you know, give that man a ton of credit, but it's been phenomenal to watch him play. LeBron on the other side, what was it, last game on Saturday? So I'm watching the game, and fourth quarter, I still got to tell you guys real quick my story about being at the game, and then I'm going to do a weekend recap, and then we'll get the hell out of here. Watching the game and watching Bron went through a stretch in that fourth quarter where I don't know how many shots he hit in a row. I just know that when the game ended, Bron had 32 points, 14 rebounds, and 10 assists in a second of a back-to-back in year 22. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I really don't understand it. Let me tell you guys real quick about the Laker game just being there on Saturday. And if you guys got a chance to watch my post-game show on Saturday, I did the post-game from the arena. So the arena in the background is phenomenal. It was really cool. So here's what was cool about the game. I showed it on the post-game show before, but I'll show it again. So obviously now, not at 7-10, yeah, things are a lot different. I'm trying to figure out, all right, can I still get credentialed to some of these games? Can I not? Not just Lakers, but Lakers is the thing that's most important to me, obviously, for what I do in my day-to-day, and really something that still I'm very passionate about. So I get credentialed for the game. How cool is this? You know, I'm looking at this, see if you guys could see this. I thought it was so cool because, okay, it's got the company on there, right? It's Hoops Talk. It's the Skalij show. I got both of those on there, credentialed for the game. I'm like, hell yeah. It's badass. That's a cool little moment. That's a good starting point for what I'm obviously trying to do and what I'm trying to build. And do I got a long way to go? Absolutely. And I got to turn this into a business, but we'll make it happen. We'll roll up our sleeves and make it happen. But right out the gate, it was like, all right, badass. I got credentialed for the game. And I didn't get credentialed because I work for ESPN or for 710 or one of these other outlets. I got credentialed because it's my company. And, you know, for some reason, that public relations department with the Lakers, they obviously trust me. They know me. They credentialed me. So put that out of the way. That was awesome. I get to crypto, and I'm not kidding here. This was like, it's almost like I haven't been to the stadium before. I didn't know where to park. Finally went up. I went to one lot. They're like, yeah, this is not a media lot. You got to park over there by the convention center. Went to the convention center. I'm like, how do I get to crypto from here? This is like a whole new thing for me. Okay, where was I seating? Where was I going to sit? Where are they going to place me? You know, I've been sitting. John and Michael obviously do the broadcast. I've been right behind them for over 5 years doing the Lakers broadcast. Actually, even more than that, because a lot of times I was still sitting there for Lakers talk when I would go. I'd sit there. So I'm sitting 6-7 years in the same seat, basically. You got the kind of the radio, you got the TV, you got everybody else, and I'm right behind them. I kind of have like an established seat here. I go to the seating chart. I don't know where the hell I'm sitting. I'm like section 114. I don't know where 114 is. It's completely different. It's completely different, but like I said, it was awesome. It was really cool. It was a cool little moment, to be honest with you, because, you know, when you are running your own business, all the decisions are made by you, your creativity, your thoughts, your successes, your failures. It's all kind of on your shoulders. But walking through that door at crypto and having that credential was a cool moment. So I want to share that with you guys because I thought that was a cool moment. Okay, weekend recap here real quick. Every Monday, we're going to do a weekend recap. Ashley, I'm moving it to Wednesday. I'm not doing it on Fridays. Friday, I feel like it's too packed, and I don't think I could do it. So 8:30 on Wednesday is when I'm going to do Ashley. So we'll do that. I need to kind of find some things, some bridges that I could do with you guys on a weekly basis. So I'm going to do that with you guys real quick. Here's the weekend recap, and I'm going to get through this really quick. NFL, I don't know how much you guys are watching the NFL right now. To me, it's not the most exciting thing just because there's so many other things going on, and NBA is back. The Chiefs, 7-0. Here's Kansas City. All their injuries, doesn't matter. Chiefs still doing their things. Couple kind of, I don't know, maybe surprises, maybe not. Texans 6-2. Buffalo 6-2. Pittsburgh 5-2, and then randomly you got the Denver Broncos at 5-3. All right, in the NFC, Detroit looks like the absolute class of the NFC. 6-1 on the season. Commanders 6-2. Where the hell did that come from? They got their Hail Mary yesterday. Packers, Vikings 6-2 for the Packers. Vikings and the Eagles each 5-2. If you're a Rams fan, 3-4, but still right in the thick of that NFC West. NBA, who are the teams that are still undefeated up to this point? You got the Cavs, who the Lakers are going to play later in the week. They're 3-0. Boston's 3-0. And then in the Western Conference, Lakers and the Thunder. Only 4 teams are 3-0 to start the season. It's the Lakers, the Thunder, the Celtics, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Those are your 4 teams. So obviously, good news there. One unfortunate story from yesterday: Steph Curry rolls his ankle playing the Clippers. We'll see how long he's out for, but that obviously, that's crappy. You don't want to see that. Okay, one thing that I need everyone to just explain to me what the hell is going on. There was a unveiling of a statue yesterday for Dwayne Wade. What the hell am I looking at? Who is this? That's supposed to be Dwayne Wade? How? What am I missing here? Where is Dwayne Wade in this photo? Look at that face. The face looks like it's somebody who's 64 years old. I'm so incredibly confused of how that is Dwayne Wade. Man, God bless these statues. I know they're not easy to make, but I don't see it. Somebody had a picture of Antoine Walker in a Heat jersey, and it looked much more like Antoine Walker than it does Dwayne Wade. I don't know what to tell you. You know, I remember there was a prank on David Beckham when he was with the Galaxy of him getting a statue. And Beckham's like, what the hell is this? You know, he's trying to tell people this looks nothing like me. And it was a prank. And a lot of people thought this might be a prank. It doesn't look anything like him. Looks nothing like him. All right, let's see what else we got here. I laughed so hard when I saw it. Face looks old and burned. They did him dirty. I'm with you guys. Not a good look. Not a good look. This guy was an icon for the Heat. An icon for the Heat. Grandpa D Wade. Yeah, it is not a good look. Not a good look at all. All right, last thing I want to get into, and then I got a couple reminders for you guys. By the way, Lakers got the Phoenix Suns tonight. So tonight, when you're done watching Lakers basketball, I'll go live right away on this channel and do the post-game show, the Lakers post-game on Hoops Talk. I'm enjoying doing it, man. I'm really having fun again with some of this stuff, and I'm enjoying doing it. So I appreciate you guys watching when you do, and you know, we're getting like, I don't know, 6,000 views on that post-game show, these first couple ones. So it's very encouraging too. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in for that. But I will be doing the post-game show tonight. Last thing I want to get into, listen, I'm not here to talk politics with you guys. Who knows? Maybe one day I will talk politics with you guys. But I'm going to share one quick video here with you guys for a reason. I want you guys to see some of the numbers here. The Joe Rogan experience. You know, everybody knows if you've never watched Joe Rogan before, I don't know how that's possible. Joe Rogan is the '1 podcast in the game, period. There's no number 2 or anything like that. So Donald Trump, former president, obviously candidate. What do we got? The election coming up here in another 9 days or so. Went on his podcast. And here's why I want to show this to you. Look at the amount of views. 34 million views in 2 days. This is just in the last couple of days, about 34 million. Listen, I don't care what the hell you vote. If you're a Democrat, go vote Democrat. If you're a Republican, go vote Republican. It doesn't matter to me. The only thing that I will say, and this is kind of the new part of media, what would be nice for our country is we don't have people too far left and we don't have people too far right, because I don't know how the hell you communicate with each other. If everyone could kind of come a little bit closer towards the center, I think that's better for our country. Leave that to the side. You know what's crazy about this? I'll tell you what's crazy about this. Remember the days where you went and did an interview on ABC and it mattered? Remember the days when you did an interview on NBC or on Fox or on CNN or MSNBC or any of these other networks? We all remember those days. Those days are long gone. I don't know what the numbers do if Trump goes and does an interview on Fox with Sean Hannity, or Kamala Harris goes on CNN and does something with whoever it is on there. I don't know what those numbers are. They ain't getting 34 million views. And that's just the 3-hour podcast. That's not the clips that will come with it. That's not the shorts where it's 10, 15 minutes or something like that. Just a real different way. Independent media is so critical now to how people get their news. It's so critical to the long form conversations. And it's just crazy to see. I mean, I was listening to Rogan the next day, and Joe Rogan was talking about he's trying to get Kamala Harris on there as well. And a couple of the people that he had on there, I think he had a couple of the comedian guys that he has on there. And they're like, yeah, I don't think she's going to come on. And man, if you are a Democrat and you want to see Kamala win, she better go on that podcast. Like, it would be such a mistake. And again, I go back to what I just said. Trump is smart to go on there. Trump is smart to kind of to go specifically on Joe Rogan's podcast. But this is how it is now. And you can get 50 million views. You know, in 2 days to have 34 million views is just crazy. So part of my weekend recap, that's one of the things that I obviously saw. This is kind of the new world in media that we're in. Most people are not consuming their sports and their news by mainstream anymore. I'm not saying completely not, but they're going to these individual platforms, and just crazy to see some of those numbers. All right, let me get a couple more of these here, and then we're going to call it a day. And then tonight, obviously, I'm going to come back. Let's see what we got here. Slee could talk about Star Wars. That's probably not one that I could. We need to merge with Canada and Mexico. Make it happen, Slee. All right, just give me a second. 3 hours with Trump and Rogan. Some people not Rogan fans. Hey, you can. I mean, listen. Like I said, you can go wherever the hell that you want to go. It doesn't matter to me. Be a good freaking person. Don't be extreme on either side. And hopefully this country's closer together rather than everybody just kind of going the separate way. I like this. Yeah, Slee should host left, right, and center. Best Lakers post game. I appreciate you, my brother. All right, guys, that's all we got for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. What do we got here? 9:08 right now. Probably in about 12 hours, 12 and a half hours. I'll be right back here. We'll be hanging out again. We'll be doing some Lakers post-game show after the Lakers take on the Phoenix Suns. But I appreciate everybody hanging out. Quick shout out to my sister Venus, October 28th. This is her birthday today. So quick shout out to her. She's actually the one. It's like, hey, you idiot. You got Instagram. You got Twitter. Why don't you put the three together? You idiot. All right, she didn't say it that way. So those that were on Instagram, I actually have no idea how it went because I wasn't able to watch it while I was doing it, but I appreciate you guys hanging out as well. Game 3 of the Dodgers and the Yankees tonight from Yankee Stadium. Lakers will have their game. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. And I appreciate you guys hanging out. Tonight, Lakers post game. Thank you for hanging out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.